Waystation Dural was not a place a general of the High Council visited. It was a freight inspection hub on the outer edge of the perihelion Arc Corridor commercial. Third tier, joint operated by two shipping companies whose full names Yale had needed to look up before the transport brought him here. The officers stationed at Dural spent their shifts checking manifests, collecting tariffs, and occasionally flagging cargo that matched the description of something reported missing somewhere further up the chain. Routine work, the kind that generated reports. Yale had been reading reports for 11 weeks. Specifically, he had been reading fuel expenditure data. Not the missing ship figures. Those were public, circulated through 6 different ministry channels, discussed in 3 council briefings, explained each time with the same phrase: standard intergalactic void attrition. The void takes things. It always has. This was the acceptable loss built into every automated transit projection the Empire had filed for 400 years. Yale had read those numbers for 11 weeks and found one problem. Ships lost to void drift burn fuel on their last recorded trajectory. The engine runs until the route runs out or the tank empties. The fuel signature of a drifting ship is specific, long, consistent, decaying along a predictable curve. You can model it. The Ministry of Logistics modeled it constantly. Every missing ship projection used the same baseline. 14 of the 23 ships flagged in the last 11 weeks showed fuel signatures that did not match the model. Not missing, not degraded, different. The burns terminated. Clean. Not the long decay of a ship that lost its way, the stop of a ship that encountered something and then stopped. He had flagged it in his own notes 7 weeks ago, filed it under a category he used for things that were probably nothing. He had stopped being comfortable with probably nothing somewhere around week 4. He had spent 6 hours at a freight station beneath his rank to confirm that nobody in the ministry was looking at the right thing. He was leaving when he heard the pirate. The detention cells at Dural occupied a narrow corridor off the freight inspection bay. 4 units, currently filled with the typical population of a third-tier hub. 2 crew members were found with unregistered cargo. One man whose transit documents had a date discrepancy that was almost certainly fraud. One pirate who had apparently decided that explaining himself at length to the guard assigned to his cell was preferable to sitting in silence. Yale was walking past. The guard was not listening. Yale could tell from the set of the man's shoulders, the particular quality of stillness that meant the ears had stopped processing before the conversation had.
"Don't care what the official numbers say,"
the pirate was saying.
"We work those corridors. We know what actually moves out there. The Empire calls it void loss because that's the explanation that doesn't require a follow-up question."
"You want to give me another reason?" the guard said without turning around. "Or are you going to keep talking?" Yale had taken 2 more steps.
"What we see out there doesn't match void loss. Hasn't for almost a year. We talk to other crews. Everyone working the automated corridors knows the numbers are wrong. The cargo isn't drifting. It's
being taken," Yale said. He had stopped. He was not certain when he had stopped. He turned. The pirate was a broad man in his late middle years, the kind of weathered that came from genuine exposure rather than deliberate style. He looked at Yale's rank markings with the careful calculation of someone deciding how much the information was worth, and whether speaking it freely was better or worse than being made to speak it.
"We have a name for them,"
the pirate said.
"The crews do. Not a real name. Just what we call them when the numbers don't add up."
The guard had gone still. A warning Yale registered and dismissed in the same motion. "What do you call them?" Yale said. The pirate held his gaze for a moment, something settling in his expression. The decision made, the pirate said.
Ghosts. We pirates call them ghosts.